Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. In today's video, I'm going to be going through a question that was asked by a commenter and hopefully a subscriber. I don't know. They said, what are the chances, mate, if you did a video on whether coins sell better as a set or individually? Would love to hear your honest opinion on this. For example, if a date run of Shield Sovereigns would sell for more than if sold separately. Now, from my personal experiences, very little gets more if you sell it as a collection. But also you need to really understand your motivation for selling, or who are you motivated to sell to. So if you're selling to a dealer, they're probably going to offer you a flat rate, and if there's a collection, there's going to be some bits in there they're going to make more on, and some bits they're going to make less on it. They eye up certain bits. Now most dealers are decent. They're not there to make an absolute killing out of you, but they will be like, there's an extra 20, 30, 40 quid in it. And there'll be bits where they're like, there's maybe £10 in that. They have a price range in their mind, or they have a profit range in their mind when they're selling. That's how I do it. Now, I know that if I buy a collection, there needs to be something in there to de-risk. If it's all low margin stuff, it kind of falls apart if spot drops. So I'll be looking at a collection thinking, okay, in the case of a Shield Sovereigns, I might be thinking, oh, that's a slightly rarer year, or that's a slightly better one. If I sell that first and I get more for it, it de-risks the rest of the collection. So in terms of will you get more selling as a collection, the chances are probably not. But you need to understand its work. So if you're going to sell individually, you can find the right buyers, or you'd hope you can find the right buyers if you put the right amount of work into doing it. There may be, for example, an 1838 Shield Sovereign. It's probably a 2,000 and up coin, £2,000 and up coin. You know, you don't want to be tagging that onto the rest of the collection, because the rest of the collection will drag that price down. You want to sell that as a standalone coin, and then maybe look at piecing out the rest of the date run. There may be coins from, say, the 40s that, you know what, let me consult the Oracle. There may be coins from the 40s that are really rare. You don't see many shields from the 1840s. You just don't. I've had a handful in my time. I've been in business, 8 years, 9 years, soon to be 9 years. So some of these coins, yeah, they're rare. Okay, they say 1841 rare coin. You know, if you've got the, I can't think of the word, can't think of the name. There was a specialist coin where the guy reworked the metal because it was too brittle, and he put his own mark on the coin. For the life of me, I can't think of it. If you've got a coin like that can be a £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 coin. You don't want to put that in a collection because it overshadows what you have. Now, in terms of collections, in terms of box sets, so I've sold 4 coin, 3 coin, 4 coin, 5 coin box sets, Brits, sovereigns, etc. International sets. I find that the way the market's gone, and this will flip, I will talk about that, but the way the market's gone, you get more money out of selling it as an individual. You get more money putting that extra effort into buying it, into moving it to different people. Sorry. Now, I've recently sent off a bunch of 2002 coins. That got broken up because it needed cleaning. But I find that if people buy the full set, they don't want graded coins. So I've now broken that set up and not really wanted to do it, but I had to do it. But with the price of gold going so high, I've noticed it's really pushed a lot of people out of that buying bracket. They can't afford it. That just is what it is. If you've got a 4 coin Brit set, so you've got the ounce, the half, the quarter, and the tenth, you're looking at, so let's realistically price it at 2,000 an ounce because they're premium coins. So you've got 1.85 ounces times 2,000, £3,700 for a set. People are not collecting these sets like they used to. They just can't afford to. They just can't. let's break it down. So then it goes down into hierarchy. So who can afford these sets? Are they going to gravitate towards Britannias? Are they going to gravitate towards sovereigns? It's sovereigns. And then you look at the people who can afford the sovereign sets. Are they going to gravitate to the half, the full, the double, the quint? Not many people can afford the full set. I remember when I bought it, I really struggled to keep hold of it, and I'm doing well in life. Like, it's a lot of money. So it ended up getting broken down. And I've noticed that if I put a set on the market, it's not really selling. And I used to hate breaking sets up. I used to hate it. You go back to my prior video, you go back 4 or 5 years, and I used to moan till I was blue in the face about breaking these sets up. But unfortunately, that's the way of the market. Now, what's going to happen though is, say living standards get better and people do get more money. It might happen. You don't know. Lots of things change. There could be a new revolution. Maybe AI makes Great Britain the wealthiest nation on the planet. I highly doubt it, but you don't know these things. What will it go back to? People want the sets because there's not many sets around. I think there's an argument for that. I think that's a very valid argument. But also, how long is a piece of string? How long would you have to wait before there's next to no sets and they become a premium just being boxed and having the coins in the set? I don't know. The trend seems to be you break the set down and you grade it. And there's people out there, and there's less people grumbling about this. Like when I first started, people were like, oh, I hate those coffins. I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. Each to their own. That's fine. Some people prefer graded coins. Some people prefer loose coins. And that's completely fine, whatever your preference is. But the trend is your friend, and the trend is heading towards graded. For many reasons, it doesn't matter your viewpoint on it. But will that then flip around to there being sets that are better not broken up? I think so. But again, how long is it going to be until we get there? I've also noticed, to tackle the question in a slightly different angle, I've noticed that the bigger the collection, the more you want to piece it out. The reason being is the bigger the collection, the more things kind of get lost, and the more risk you kind of associate when you sell it to a dealer, because a dealer doesn't want to sit on too much stock at one time. So there's going to be things where, I don't know other dealers' bankrolls, but I'm using a 20k bankroll these days. I've got a 20k overdraft. But if I buy a collection of 20k, I need to de-risk probably 5 to 10 relatively quickly, and then I can piece off the other things, because by doing that, it frees up cash flow for me to buy other collections. So yeah, the bigger your collection, the bigger your date run, the more you should piece it out. You know, that's my view on it. You could speak to another dealer and they say, do you know what, sell it as a collection. I also think that there's certain collections that if you took them to the right auctioneer, they'd do okay. I'm not a fan of selling at auction. I don't think they're the best solution for the vast majority of coins. I will make a video about that. But I think with the right collection in a specialist auction, it might do well. But it really depends what your collection is. You know, if it's just shields, as in what the gentleman was asking about, I think that's so vast in size. I think you'd struggle. And I think you'd struggle because someone who can afford that is someone who can afford to buy the higher end coins. And I very much doubt that someone has put together a collection of higher end coins across the whole spectrum. It's too expensive for, it's out the reach of most people. It's out the reach of me. It's out the reach of dealers I know. Some dealers I know could do that. They could do it with ease as well. Whether they want to do it is another matter. But yeah, so I think it is a bit of a minefield. I think it depends on how big the collection is. I think it depends on how specialist the collection is. I think it depends on if they're kind of box sets. And I think it depends on how much you want to put into it yourself. But as a whole, I'd say break it down and move it on. But that really depends on you. You know, that's for you to square up. You know how much you paid for this. You know how much you'd probably want for this. And there's people who say, oh, I want the most money. Doesn't, that's not going to help you. Yeah. I want the most, that doesn't mean anything to anyone. Because if you say you want the most money, you don't really know what it's worth. You don't know the bounds of what it's worth. So anyway, I hope that's kind of solved a few questions, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.